So right now, we're going to discuss about from zero to hero building your first freelance portfolio that actually lost life. And this is based from my experience because most of the time we build portfolio, but we don't know where to start. And that's really a problem because when we don't know how to build a portfolio where 80% of the result uh, comes from deciding whether the client will want to work with you or not, and then if you don't know how to build it, then you're putting yourself into a disadvantage, and more likely you will not get your first high paying client. You want to wow the clients, of course. If you want to get multiple clients, then portfolio is something that you can reuse over time, and then you can just present it to a new client. If the old client leaves you, then it will be really a great return on investment that will leverage not only your skills but also showcase your skills that will be sustainable and that will bring in constant revenue. So the first one is you gotta start with free or personal projects. For me, I started my content creation when I was an age of 11, and then I started creating a lot of content. I think that's already 1,000. Even though I started very young, I do a lot of mistakes, and those mistakes enable me to really know what makes good content. And it evolved to something like what makes a good content for clients, what makes a good content for small business owners, for this brand. I learned the dynamics and the essence of what is really good content by making a lot of mistakes throughout these sessions. That's why it's really important to really start on free or personal projects. Free or personal projects, which means that the reason why it's free, of course, you're going to work maybe with a client or with the network or a friend or a coach who needs the services of someone else. Let's say you're a video editor and he wants to grow his business, and the only way to grow his business is one of it is through video content creation. Or you could be a startup, you're just starting a business, and then you can make content for him. And once you make content, then you can build your portfolio, and that portfolio will lead you to make client pay you because you already know what makes a good video and how can you bring value to the business that brings result. How can you really make videos that produce result? You gotta assess the analytics to the business performance of the videos that you make. So that's the leverage of why we need free, right? Free and personal project. Personal project would be if you want to be a content creator, if you want to own your personal brand, and this would be for you. Or if you want to build your own brand, then more likely you want to you build your own videos, you make your own videos. But more likely, I think it's more of a leverage if you go to start here, especially if you just want to be a video editor, or you want to be in your niche, or you don't want to be a content creator. For me, I already started in a personal project, so that's why I want to leverage it. And I love creating content, and this is something that is actually in my values. So it's up to you. It's very optional. Which one would you like to start? So start creating your portfolio. Now you gotta showcase, which is number two. You gotta showcase your best, but not everything. Sometimes you gotta leave. This is your portfolio, right? This is your portfolio, and then you have a lot and a bunch of your works, and you wanna send the trailer to the client. When you present a trailer, you don't have to expose everything, because if you expose everything, what's the point of the movie when they can just watch the trailer? Of course, the trailer is like the teaser. It creates them a sense of curiosity of wanting your service. You don't have to expose everything. There's a quotation that says that the best magician doesn't reveal everything. Sometimes when you remain something a secret, it becomes mysterious, and once it becomes mysterious, it invokes curiosity into the client and might want to consider your your services. The reason why it's best is because if you don't present your works, that's the best of it, your really best work. How can you expect the client to give you money if you don't present your best output? You instead present the worst. So you get the logic. This brings us to number 3, very important, that will lead you to stand out the market and might even make them pay you instead of a commodity, but rather based on value. Is you gotta tell the story behind your work, right? We're going to give you a situation, okay, and you let's say you're a boss and you have 2 employees, and then the wait, can I actually like do that? You have 2 employees, and then the next one is here. So this first employee said that he got absent to work, because he just got tired, and you end up doing all the work. And then this another employee said that because he got absent to work because he rushed his mother to the hospital and got no time to even message back or inform the boss. Which would you think the boss would consider you? Person number 1 or person number 2? If you have sense, of course, person number 2. That is the power of story. You cannot really understand or consider the person without knowing the story behind that person. And that goes the same in your portfolio. If you tell the story, this happens in an interview or sometimes in your portfolio. If you tell the story behind your work, it creates an emotion to the client. It creates an emotion to the client, which makes him consider more. Because people are not driven by logic when it comes to purchasing things, but by emotions. Sometimes we get impulse about that. Sometimes we get heightened emotion to buy certain thing because it aligns to our values, to our culture, to our desires, which is not logic, which is not rational. It's more about emotion or hormones, speaking in science. That's why it's very important to tell the story behind your work. And this is also similar to branding, telling the story behind why you do this. And your brand evolves. And one of the best examples would be the brand of Nike, which is the first they create shoes for people, but now they create shoes for athletes, and then they create shoes for those who want to achieve better. I think the branding, the messaging, the story really curates or changes when you have this one, because they change it, their market change, then the people how they treat their brand will change, and then the revenue change. That's the power of branding. It's also a form of storytelling. Which brings us to number 2. A very simple one would be you gotta keep it simple and accessible. Most of the time, we get a lot of portfolios. We create portfolios with this one. We approach it like, I'm going to create the best portfolio. You create the best portfolio, are you sure? Because you put a lot of description, you put a lot of video, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And it ends up confusing the client what actions to take. The main action here is like to book a call or to message you. But with these type of information, the client gets crazy because he don't know where to focus. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? There's a lot of elements and ends up forgetting the real action. So sometimes the simpler the better. Okay? And then once you create the portfolio that you have, you already implemented the system from number 1 to 4. You gotta know how to update regularly. Regularly, what I mean is when you, again, let's have a visual example. When you already have a portfolio, this is your portfolio, and then you have these videos way back in 2022, and now it's 2023, and you have been doing or editing videos for a year right now. You gotta update the best ones because the old videos isn't always the best. The new ones are, if assuming that you're continuously practicing or surveying your clients with the videos, because you want to, again, let's go back to rule number 2. You have to showcase your best, and the old ones are not the best. The new ones are. You gotta at least update it at least every quarter, 3 months, depending on your necessity. If you're finding your clients within the next 2 months, and then of course you're going to update your portfolio in the next 2 months if it's necessary. So if you just implement these 5 things, you will grow your clients from zero to hero, like building your own portfolio that actually wows your clients. So that's it.